Good day! Cebu is setting the stage for its transformation into a must-visit destination for mice. No, not those rodents that run around in the house and its surroundings, but for meetings, incentives, conferences, and exhibitions. That is what we will be talking in BusinessMirror's Freshly Brewed. Like great coffee to savor, Freshly Brewed tells compelling stories through the interaction between the most interesting people and BusinessMirror's roster of journalist hosts, discussing the hot issues of the day or topics still unfolding or even brewing. Cebu as an ideal MICE destination was the main theme of the recent Cebu Business Month activity, which had the theme Padayon Cebu. Join us as Cleofe Albiso, Marketing Director of Megaworld Hotels and Resorts, talks to us about her role at the Cebu Business Month activity and in the creation of the Cebu MICE Alliance, with our host for today, John Eiron Francisco, BusinessMirror's Multimedia Content Producer.
Hello everyone, hope you're having a great day and of course, enjoying your favorite cup of coffee. I am Eiron Francisco, Multimedia Content Producer here at BusinessMirror. Welcome to another episode of Freshly Brewed, where we dive into the latest buzz in business and beyond. Today, we're brewing something exciting. Let's talk about the MICE industry. Yep, that's meetings, incentives, conferences, and exhibitions. It's one of those sectors that quietly booming, and it's expected to create a lot of new jobs, not just here in the Philippines, but of course, across the globe. We will also take a closer look at how the country is gearing up to become one of the world's top 10 MICE destinations by 2030, and zoom in on Cebu, the Queen City of the South, and its key role in making that happen. But before we get started, don't forget to subscribe to our digital channels and check out the BusinessMirror website for more stories and updates. Now, we're really lucky to have with us today Ms. Cleofe Albiso, Chairperson of the Cebu Business Month 2025 Tourism Committee and Managing Director of Megaworld Hotels and Resorts, here to help us understand more about these exciting initiatives from the private sector's perspective. Hi, Ms. Cleo. Great to see you again, and welcome to the studio.
Thank you for having me here, Aaron.
Yeah, sure. So last time we're in Cebu, and I saw firsthand how active you've been leading the Business Tourism Forum alongside, with Tourism Secretary Frasco, with, key industry leaders and stakeholders. So tell me, from the private sector's perspectives, where we are now with the government's goal, especially with the Department of Tourism, aiming to put the Philippines, in the global top 10 MICE destinations by 2030.
Now, first, Aaron, I'd really like to thank the Cebu Chamber of Commerce and Industry, led by no other than President J.U. Valios, for the trust that he's put to us as well to take the helm of the Cebu MICE Alliance. We'd also like to thank the Cebu Business Month Chairperson, Consul Anton Perdices, who is our go-to person for all the efforts that we've put together for the whole month of June and in the coming months of the execution of the Cebu Business Month. We're planning this in the month of November. There was simple discussions of how we can actually really come to life the Cebu MICE Alliance. All started with the summit last year, the tourism summit.
Okay.
We really requested the then president, of course, who is still the president now, J.U. Valios to really hear us out. It's time for Cebu to collaboratively create that synergy across tourism stakeholders and the business sector to put together an alliance which is also very much aligned with his projects and programs for Cebu, and they call it, of course, Padayon Cebu. And to your question,
Yes.
we have had a lot of efforts in the private sector to put together MICE Alliance efforts. There are a lot of alliances across the country,
Yeah.
and we're very glad to be able to spearhead in some areas like Iloilo, Boracay, and now in Cebu. We believe that it is through the synergy of stakeholders that we can create a more impactful messaging, that we have MICE readiness. We're not to the levels of some of the countries in the region, but we need to take the baby steps for people to know that here we are putting together the efforts and of course the infrastructure to make sure that we can be ready in hosting MICE.
So would you say infrastructure is one thing we need to start doing now, or strengthen or improve if we really want to make it to the top 10 MICE destinations globally by 2030?
Zoning into Cebu,
Yeah. Okay.
we have been reliant to some of the venues that have served the market for how many decades, if I have to mention. Of course, we have our ever reliable Waterfront Cebu, some of our hotels that have really bigger ballroom capacity. These are the venues that we've been utilizing all throughout these years. This time, some of the bigger players are actually putting projects like SM is putting up the convention center and the arena, and Megaworld Corporation is putting up one great project which we call the Mactan Expo Center, which will be a very great venue, very close to the airport, and will be a good MICE convention center, and will give us the capacity to host MICE businesses.
Would you say we're innovating fast enough to compete? I mean, to stay competitive in the region, in Asia?
I wouldn't say we're fast enough. I think it's fair to not say we're innovating fast enough. But we're doing our fair share in the endeavor to be within the game. We're very glad that a lot of the developers are putting investments to make us capable of hosting MICE. As to being fast enough, I think we need to be more fast to really catch up.
All right.
But where we are with the private sector, very bullish and aggressive to put together the efforts, we convene, putting aside all our brands, Aaron, really talking about the destination. We can market our respective brands, but imagine the strength and the impact like we did when we did the Tourism Summit in Cebu, gathering of all the stakeholders, putting forward a very strong messaging that this is on the works. We are going to work collaboratively to make sure that no matter which hotel they stay, no matter which venue they choose, this is Cebu crying out loud that we are ready to be one of the premier MICE destination.
All right, so you mentioned the need parang to scale up. And during the recent forum, Cebu was spotlighted as a key player in helping the Philippines reach its, MICE goals. And part of that push involves new infrastructure, as you've mentioned. And also, can you tell us more about the upcoming facilities in Cebu, like yung sa SMX, of course yung sa Megaworld establishment?
Like I said, we're really very fortunate and very blessed that these amenities are being put together in construction so that we can be able to host. Like we said, in the past, there's been very limited options for spaces. And now I think the time has come because as these conglomerates put in more money for the venues that we've talked about, the arena of 16,000 capacity and the SM Convention Center, of course, the Mactan Expo Center, We're going to be able to host more of these ASEAN meetings and even the corporate meetings and the needs for MICE business in the future. Having them is a very significant change, Aaron. This is an enabler for the market, Cebu market, to be able to host MICE business. Without these venues, we will, of course, not be in the list of even just the destinations to consider. These amenities in Cebu City and the entire Cebu province is an enabler for us to be able to capture MICE business. And like we said, I think the time to synergize the entire community is really best fitting. It's now. Because as these constructions are ongoing, as both conglomerates are trying to complete the projects, it is for us to start off the efforts to put out all over the globe. Like I said, if you didn't do the MICE Tourism Forum, you wouldn't be able to write your article, and we thank you for that. And the rest of the media friends that we have who supported and really flew to Cebu to be able to participate in such a unique summit that we have. And it's not just your ordinary summit where you sit down the entire day and listen to speakers. We were able to afford extending a teaser and a sneak peek of what Cebu amenities and destination can offer. And we hope that we were able to whet everyone's appetite, and we hope that it also sparked the interest for more of you to write more about Cebu, feature Cebu, because it really has so much to offer.
Yeah, correct. I agree, ma'am. So if this trend continues, where more and more, international events are being held in Cebu, especially with Tourism Secretary confirming that Cebu will host the ASEAN Forum in 2026. So what should Filipinos expect? Are we looking at more job opportunities, or what kind of impact that could this have this on local communities?
Every time we're able to host a regional or an ASEAN convention, it always gives all the attendees a view of what we have to offer. So each opportunity that we get to showcase the Filipino brand of hospitality, to be able to showcase the kind of food that we can serve, the kind of warmth and preparedness and the efficiency of event management and convention management that we can, it's always an eye-opener to everyone that attends and really flies in to Cebu. If you notice in the discussion in the panel, if one of our speakers actually mentioned that she was first time, Liz Ortiguera was first time to visit Cebu, and how close Singapore is and how many flights are available to just really fly in from Cebu to Singapore. These are eye-openers for us. The more we should be inspired to put together events that really showcase what we have to offer. We cannot sit comfortably knowing that we're getting business that we can say are ample. We have to be insatiable. We are not where we want to be. We have to put efforts that are overt, that really go the extra mile like we're doing now. We have to continuously put together the effort and synergize everybody. We can all market our respective hotels, our respective companies, but if we go together and really promote Cebu as a destination, that goes through with Iloilo, that goes through with Boracay, as well as the other parts of the country, the more we synergize and group together as a private sector, collaborating closely with the public sector, I think we have a lot of discussions and we can make more dent than we can doing it individually.
All right, ma'am. So I remember also some data from the World Travel and Tourism Council saying that globally may projected 90 million new jobs sa tourism sector, and in the next 10 years, with Asia Pacific, sharing or contributing the biggest share. So do you think that's realistic in our case? Are we on track to be part of that momentum?
I think the Philippines is really going to be a great contributor as long as we keep on marketing the place as a one destination, and we target more of the markets that are low-lying fruits and are going to give us the volume. We've got the Chinese market, the Indian market, and of course the other segments of the markets that we're really able to capture now. We are playing around more domestic arrivals and contribution across many of the areas of the country. We know that if our tourism is on the right strategy, is on point in terms of what we do and put together, we know that jobs follow.
Yeah.
Whether it's an upstream or a downstream impact, it's really an enabler. It creates jobs. It creates a boost in the economy. That's why if you see in Cebu, the one that's spearheading it is actually the Cebu Chamber of Commerce and Industry, because the business sector fully recognizes that if MICE is able to contribute greatly to Cebu as a whole, all other things will follow.
All right, so ma'am, speaking of those, projected millions of jobs, what sectors are we actually talking about here? Is it just within hotels and accommodations, or does it go beyond that?
In MICE, it's able to really impact a lot of business sectors as well. The transportation, of course, the connectivity that airlines are able to offer, the transportation in land, air, and sea. And then we also have all our retail businesses that are able to maximize and leverage when there are MICE attendees. Of course, the influx of the number of attendees always has a bigger impact rather than your individual travelers who are traveling for leisure. And we've always read it in many of the reports that MICE spending is 6 times higher than leisure travelers. So it's something that can really move the needle in terms of economy in whatever place you hold the MICE destination, MICE business in.
Alright, ma'am, so how about naman yung mga small and medium enterprises, especially those that are just starting out? Paano kaya sila makakasabay sa booming MICE industry? Any tips or recommendations on how they can tap into the opportunities?
We're very glad that in the Cebu Chamber of Commerce and Industry, they're actually very focused on developing the MSMEs. They really look at the inclusivity of making sure that even the small players take advantage of the projects, and the impact is really more for them. We have to remember, you have your vendors at the side, you have your smaller players, the startup companies that are able to also harness from the influx. You have to remember that when there's compression in one area, of course the smaller hotels also get to get their fair share, and the businesses are able to yield in terms of pricing. There's interest in going around the tourist spots, so your travel agencies, your local DMCs, and even your tour guides and tour operators are able to maximize and leverage from this. It's beautiful because it's a holistic impact, not just for bigger companies, but also across MSMEs.
Right, ma'am. So with all these opportunities potentially coming in, so do we have the local talent and skills ready to meet the demand? Are we investing enough in training and upskilling for tourism and MICE-related jobs?
I think I have to commend the Department of Tourism for having been able to do this in the past years. Your Filipino brand of service excellence training is one that we can truly be proud of, and it's been ongoing. They've had 100,000 trainees, and I think this year they're targeting to have more. We're one company that truly supports them. And even our mother company, Megaworld Corporation, is training the property managers to have the Filipino brand of service excellence. And this is preparation for the bigger things that we will be able to do. And we will continue to do that even for Cebu MICE Alliance, Boracay MICE Alliance, and Ilo MICE Alliance. These are alliances that put emphasis and priority to training, making sure that the stakeholders have the right skill set that we are able to welcome our global participants and really showcase the best that we can show.
All right. So, ma'am, from your experience, what do you think sets Cebu apart from other popular destinations like you've mentioned Boracay and Iloilo, where you've also been involved in building MICE, partnerships?
I think Cebu has a very unique combination of urban and destination. You've got the beach easily accessible in just a very quick drive. You've got the beauty of the mountains that our guests can enjoy and really have a lavish spread of beautiful nature. Yet you still have the urban landscape that doesn't deprive you of very good coffee shops, bars, and everything that a guest and a tourist wants to enjoy when they go to a destination. The hotel spread is really wide. There's so much that we can choose from smaller Airbnbs to hotels that really offer to you amenities that are very upscale. Cebu has been very progressive all this time. I think that's also the reason why MICE has not been a focus. That's why we're very glad under the leadership of President J.U. Valios that MICE is a focus for him. And I myself, having been able to participate in the creation of the alliances that you mentioned, is a very glad contributor, and being a Cebuano myself, I'm very happy to be able to give it back to Cebu. And as you see, the response of the stakeholders is very inspiring. The amount of support that we got during the Tourism Summit is one that we will truly try to harness from. Their support should also really be strengthened with consistency of projects in the coming months. We do the trainings, we do the trade shows, and we'll make sure that Cebu will be a consideration. We may not yet be there, but we'll continue to effort.
All right. So, ma'am, would you say that some of the initiatives or best practices we've seen implemented in Boracay or Iloilo are already happening in Cebu, or maybe if Cebu even got a head start in some, areas?
I think all of these three areas have a very unique advantage.
Okay.
Iloilo, my God, the gastronomy there is also top-notch. And the cultural offerings in Iloilo is also really very impressive. Boracay, there's not much to talk about. The island is really beautiful after it has been rehabilitated, and with all the efforts of the local government and the private sector to really maintain it. I think Boracay has never been this beautiful. It's really worth the revisit. For Filipinos who have not been in the island for so long, it's worth the visit, because the island has really become as attractive as it is now. The level of offerings that it has now, with some of the restrictions to make sure that sustainability is really happening, Boracay is worth each of the accolade that it gets year on year, being one of the best islands in the world. And it is awarded as so because it really deserves it. Cebu, on the other hand, has a very different charm. It's you see that even in comparison to just these two, it has a different charm to offer.
Correct.
Cebu, Cebuanos, also its culinary offerings, and like I said, everything is within arm's reach. You can really fully enjoy nature and at the same time do your business, because the business and the urban landscape in Cebu is also top-notch.
So wala tayong dapat ipagkumpara dun sa tatlong destinations na yun?
Not really. And this is the beauty of MICE, because MICE business happens in rotation. And I fully believe that having synergy across the region and even in greater parts of the Philippines, in bigger areas and in different regions, because MICE doesn't happen in one place every year. MICE is distributed in many locations. We can learn from each other. We can really make sure that everything that we're offering and the best practices are really duplicated and the learnings are shared. I think we will have synergy even as we do separate efforts.
Ano ba yung parang mga preferences ng mga clients in terms of choosing destination?
Oh, it was such a beautiful discussion that we have had in the summit, and Liz Ortiguera gave us some beautiful insights of the need for a local experience, the need to have presence of sustainability. I think people are so big on that one. Wellness is also
Yes.
another consideration. And of course, the collaboration between local government and the private sector is very critical as well.
All right, so ma'am, with that in mind and to dive deeper into more, our potential in the MICE industry, let's go back to something shared during the forum. Ms. Liz Ortiguera, a respected global tourism leader, laid out some of the key ingredients for brewing a successful MICE destination. So let's tweak our conversation a bit and play a quick round I like to call brew check, hot or still brewing. I will serve you a few elements that are, considered essential to win a MICE bid. And you will tell me, are we already freshly brewed, or meaning we nailed it, or are we still brewing, meaning we're on our way, or we're getting there. So I think this is the first time na gagawin to sa Freshly Brewed.
Interesting.
All right.
So freshly brewed and brewing it.
Still brewing, yes.
All right. Am I allowed to explain?
Yes, of course.
All right.
So let's start with the basics, accessibility and connectivity. Do you think we're ready to give international guests a smooth, hassle-free travel experience, especially dito sa Cebu?
I would say we're still brewing it, because although Cebu has one of the best airports in the Philippines, and we're also proud about it, and Aboitiz Infracorp is also really doing a great job in managing it. We still know that in the other parts of the journey, there's still so much to improve on, like the traffic congestion, having accessibilities in, although we are also privileged that we have 3 bridges that connect Mactan Island to Cebu. But there's still so much room for improvement in terms of that. In terms of connectivity, I would say that flights would have to be considered as well. I think we need more accessibility to the other markets where we can capture more arrivals of tourists, and we'd have to be very intentional about it, like the Indian market, which is hopefully coming. And of course, we still want the other segments of the global tourists to have access to us.
All right, so second, ma'am, sense of place. Would you agree that it's time we truly embrace and promote our Filipino heritage and Asian identity, and instead of leading, the West, leading on with our Western influences?
This one, I can actually say we're nailing it.
Okay.
Because we've already started, and the journey is very evident. Like, for example, Megaworld Hotels and Resorts, we are very intentional in making sure that we're known to be a homegrown brand. We chose the Sampaguita to represent our hospitality, our branded service. And our food offerings, we have our Filipino chefs that are very creative in terms of making sure that the taste profile of the F&B offerings that we have really puts into center stage the Filipino taste and the local taste. And a lot of the efforts across many of our stakeholders are actually geared towards Filipinization already. So I'm saying we're nailing it because we've already put priority to it.
Kasi usually, di ba, yung mga tourists, yung mga foreign tourists, ang hinahanap nila yung kultura ng lokal. Hindi nila hinahanap yung parang mga ibang mga practices na experience, mga modern practices like, let's say, abroad, ganun. I mean, hinahanap talaga nila yung kung anong meron doon sa isang lugar na yun, sa isang community na yun.
I can't agree more, Aaron. And we've had a very long journey of being so inspired with the Western ways of doing things. It's really time to showcase what we can offer locally.
All right. So, ma'am, for next one, unique experiences, learning, and networking. Are we brewing standout experiences, workshops, tours, networking that attendees will actually take home and remember?
I would say we're still brewing it. We're brewing it because we still need more of that. We definitely have very good efforts already across many of the organizations that put emphasis on the experiential tourism. We have the DOT as well that have put projects that really make sure that the unique experiences per region are orchestrated and curated in a manner that we can be proud of. But I would say that there's still so much more in educating and in making sure that the other countries actually know about it. It's one to train our stakeholders here, but making sure that the markets abroad know about it, appreciate it, hear it, is a different story. There's so much opportunity for us.
So, gaano ba kahalaga yung experiential tour sa isang tourist na hindi lang sila pumunta dito para sa business or forum, seminars, ganyan?
I would say it's the most important thing. The unique stories that we're able to create because we made them experience the local transportation, the local food, the local signature experiences, even bringing them to destinations that they would not expect to be available in us. The Philippines is such a beautiful country. There's so many things we can list, even as much as the count of islands that we have in our country. You can name it. And whether you're a mountaineer, whether you love the beach, whether you are a professional coming in to a certain location for a corporate activity or corporate business, there's still so much that we can do outside of the work and the intention to do business in. We just need to be able to really pronounce it, really advertise it as much as we can, and make sure that the knowledge is not limited to the local tourists, but rather something that we can talk about in the global landscape.
All right, so ma'am, for the next one, safety and security. Is the Philippines already serving up a safe and secure environment for MICE travelers?
I would say that we are a pretty safe space. I know there's always a battle, and in the discussions online in terms of how safe we are, yes, we're not perfect, but I would say people here come in and your safety is not a question. This is a personal opinion. I do not represent the industry and the opinion of others, but personally I find the news that's going around that we're not a safe country as detrimental to our efforts to inviting people to even try and trust us, because safety is going to be a critical component of people. And as much as you compare it to the other parts of the world that's having war, where are we? We're a pretty safe space. We believe that as we continue to really emphasize that we want more tourists to be attracted to try the Philippines, safety is one consideration. And I would say a lot of our tourists walk around, enjoy transportation, even commute, in a manner where they do not feel that the integrity of the safety that we proclaim is not there. I would say we are safe.
Okay, so we nailed it.
Yeah, sorry, we nailed it.
All right.
Not really. I would say we are still on it.
Okay.
But we are not unsafe. The country is on the works to creating a safe destination for tourists to visit. We may not be at the level of the other countries, but we definitely are a safe country to try to visit for tourists. There's so much to enjoy here without question of safety.
Correct, ma'am. So, next one naman natin is tech and innovation. So, from fast internet to hybrid capabilities and even AI-driven personalization, how are we keeping up? Do you think we're tech ready for the future of events?
Oh, there's so much happening. Yeah. I think we're not yet there, but it's not bad because a lot of the back end of the tech work are actually done by a lot of Filipino ITs. It's just that they're employed by different international companies. But we have the talent base, we have the infrastructure and technology that can get us to where we want to be as a goal, but we're not yet there. So we're trying to embrace a lot of, especially in our industry, because we're a high-touch industry where human interaction is still key, but we're trying to adapt. And even in the different industries here in our country, I am a member of the Women's Biz organization, and there are a lot of advocates of technology, and you will be so impressed with all the programs that are coming in and put together to make sure that we also advance our digitization.
So hindi lang pala MICE industry or sa hotel and accommodations ang dapat itap din natin. So
It's a whole gamut of shared stakeholders, industry support to make sure that we have the availability of technology for us to tap. The more tech startups that are happening here in the country, the more availability for us that's, of course, more reasonably priced products, more access for us to be able to customize and hyper-personalize the needs of the industry, then the better it is for us. The access is important. The more we have those companies here, we ourselves in Megaworld Hotels has been able to partner with startup companies for some of our tech requirements. We have our portals for our titanium VIPs so that they can access their bookings online. We're doing our own fair share of innovation, and we're very proud of it.
All right, ma'am. So next one natin is sustainability and local support. Are we already pouring into sustainability and local inclusivity, or are our events green, community-driven, and meaningful?
I would say we're still brewing it, but there are a lot of the companies that are really putting sustainability as a priority now. I've said this in the past, it has become a priority and not just an option. We have the Sampaguita project, we have our efforts from our mother company, we have the Me Green project, where there's a journey to zero carbon footprint. And there are contributions per business unit to make sure that this is happening. And you see the news and everyone's efforts to actually join the bandwagon of the contribution. So it has not just become a buzzword. It is really an effort that everyone is trying to put together. In fact, there are positions of chief sustainability officers coming in the past years to make sure that there's really a lead in the company, that there's consistency in the effort, and when there's someone that really focuses in the improvement, it really happens.
All right. So, ma'am, grabe, the MICE industry is no joke. The opportunities are massive, but it's clear that for us to really make it big, we need to strengthen everything from infrastructure, connectivity, to talent. So, but what's that one thing you believe na dito lang talaga sa Pilipinas ma-experience ng mga MICE travelers natin? Yung masasabing natin na, unique asset?
I think it's the Filipino touch of the hospitality. There's a spread of many hotel professionals all over the world, from cruise lines, from F&B outlets, from hotels all over the world. There's always a Filipino who's a favorite of guests, doing the hospitality job, hosting the best way they can. Sometimes out of need, but honestly, it's a culture, it's innate in us. We like to serve, we like to make other people happy. Hosting is something that's ingrained in us. It's part of our DNA. And it's something that we don't do as a transaction. We do it because we want to please others. We want to be of service to others. And we want to make them feel that when they check in our hotels, they feel like it's their second home. I think the Filipino warmth of hospitality is unique to us. Of course, the nature that we can offer here in our country is another. And All the other things are a bonus.
So that's only in the Philippines.
Only in the Philippines.
All right, so ma'am, with all the positive developments lately from where you stand in the private sector, would you say there are still areas we need to focus on? I mean, we've made progress, but what are the remaining gaps we really need to close?
I think the beauty of where we are is the acknowledgement that we are a work in progress. There are gaps, yes. We are not at the number of arrivals that we want to be, but we continue to work hard. The DOT as well as the private sector have various efforts, whether individually or as a group in synergy. There are a lot of efforts really going the extra mile to make sure that we get there. There are issues that are being addressed. There are discussions as well that follow. If there are issues that need to be tackled, there's a forum for us to be able to voice it out. I would say that the tourism industry in the country has been very resilient. We have gone through so much. Well, the globe went through the pandemic, and after that, the tug of war of the countries in the region in terms of ease of processing visa, in terms of offering connectivity. All these are efforts to make sure that we capture the arrivals that we get. And as long as we add more people that contribute rather than complain, I think we'll get to the goal that we want to be.
All right, ma'am. So what message would you like to leave to the stakeholders listening, especially younger professionals entering the hospitality or tourism space who want to be part of this movement?
We are very glad that all the journey that we have been through has been one that's full of synergy and collaboration. We are also very thankful of our mother company, Megaworld Corporation, for all the support that it's extended to us, and all the stakeholders that have given us support. To the new generation and the ones who are aspiring to be part of the hotel and tourism industry, we thank you for the interest. It's not for everybody. We definitely know that if you have a soul and the heart to serve, if you are one person that takes joy in serving even on Valentine's Day, Christmas party, Christmas, and even on important dates of your lives, and still be happy, creating memories for others and putting yours at the side, it's an industry you can be in. I said it's not for everybody, but we're very happy to be here. We take inspiration in inspiring the younger generation as well. We hope that as a country, we can all work together in synergy. We're very glad of the attention and the level of investment that most of the conglomerates are putting in for tourism, because this is a testament that it's an industry that's really gaining traction and trust also from the investor side. And we hope that with more of us looking at creating deeper meaning in what we do, we will be able to entice younger generation like you, Aaron, to invest your future in our industry. It's a noble industry, I would say. It's not the likes of the other industries that actually are very well respected. Others do not look at it as an industry that attracts them. But those who choose to serve, it's one that's going to be worth your journey of a lifetime.
Ang gandang message niyo, ma'am. Pero gusto ko lang itanong, aside from Cebu hosting the ASEAN Forum in 2026, are there any major international events in the pipeline that we should watch out for? Or perhaps you could give us a hint.
There would be some ASEAN meetings that will be hosted by Cebu. Of course, the proper agency are the ones that have the right to announce them. But with the positioning of Cebu now, we are trying to position ourselves to host regional and global meetings in the future. We will put our efforts together to make sure that these are things that can happen in the coming years.
All right, ma'am. So, and finally, if you could summarize Cebu's potential, what would that sound like?
Cebu is a combination of urban and destination. It's a good mix of city and the country. We are very proud of what it has to offer. The Cebu people, the Cebuano people are very glad to be able to host you in the future. And we say it in the Cebu Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Padayon Cebu.
All right, ma'am. So, and that's it for today. Thank you so much, Miss Cleo. I really enjoyed our conversation. But before we wrap up, feel free to invite our listeners, investors, or potential partners. Saan ba sila pwedeng mag-reach out if they want to get involved or be part of the exciting opportunities ahead?
We are very glad that we put out our first Cebu MICE guide, and it's available to give guidance and reference to all your queries about MICE Cebu. But if you have questions or if you have things to suggest and even contributions to this very laudable action and project, please feel free to email info@cebuchamber.org, and we will be ready to answer you, and we will definitely welcome you with open arms. Thank you so much.
Thank you again, Miss Cleo. And to everyone listening, if you want to learn more and stay updated on the latest business news and trends, don't forget to subscribe to our channels and visit the BusinessMirror website. I am Eiron Francisco, and until next time, keep your coffee hot and your ideas brewing. See you again soon.
And that wraps up for our Freshly Brewed episode for today. Thank you for tuning in to Freshly Brewed. Stay informed, stay inspired, and make smarter choices every day with Business Mirror. For the latest stories and updates, visit our website, businessmirror.com.ph, for a broader look at today's business. And follow us on our social media channels. Stay ahead, no more, and see you next time.